Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse. This is the Buddhist series. Today I'm going to jump into a system of practice. A system of Buddhist practice that is actually still alive and well. I wouldn't say prevalent because this is a very, very esoteric system. The system in question is Vajrayana. Vajrayana Buddhism is the third iteration of Buddhism in India, which now has it's predominantly Tibetan. Tibetan practitioners practice Vajrayana Buddhism. And they have popularized it in big ways. They have expounded it across the world in big ways. Not the esoteric teachings so much, although you can find a lot of this kind of thing. You can do it. But it's so tough to work into these esoteric teachings that you really, and traditionally, what you have to do is join, a Buddhist brotherhood that has a teacher that's gone through it and is willing to, teach it and expound it through a group of practitioners. So this is a kind of system, and I'm going to point out the similarities with all the other ways of practicing Buddhism that's been expounded through different cultures. Of course, the similarities and the things that are the same about all of them. But I want to point out the differences, like what makes Vajrayana so special and unique, and also just point out some of the things about it that are very, very interesting, and give you a little something to go on, so that if this kind of system does resonate with you, you'll have some context. And there's a lot of wonderful texts that come out of Vajrayana Buddhism, out of the Tibetans and Nepal and upper India, that are beautiful, but they're hard to work into without a knowledge of the system. So what Vajrayana Buddhism basically is, as far as practice, is system of technique based on Prajnaparamita, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, things like the Diamond Sutra. You'll see, I'll link my video just talking about the Diamond Sutra. It's a critical work. It is a crucial work for all Buddhism at this point. And meditation, just regular, meditation as far as sitting meditation, quiet, either focusing on breath or focusing on emptiness. A lot of the Perfection of Wisdom lineages are very much focused on meditation on emptiness, and that is to say meditation on potentiality, that there is this kind of base level of reality itself that is pure potential, that everything is the same, universal and equal, and the same on that level. So meditation is essential. There's going to be, a lot of meditation, hour or more per day, every day, no matter what. That's just, a crucial point. To just understand that none of the stuff that I'm going to talk about happens without meditation happening. Because what meditation does is create that space in your mind. Our minds are constantly thinking, and there's this kind of subvocal discussion going on with ourselves all the time. And to make some space in that for something to arise, insight is what it would be called, to make space in that is of utmost importance in all of Buddhism. So I thought that the best way to work into this system would be to show, like, maybe what a neophyte would go through, all the way to a full-on practitioner. And a neophyte is going to come into this kind of practice and be come into contact with normal, the things that are common to all of Buddhism. Perfection of wisdom texts, things that illustrate emptiness and wisdom and virtue, and how to practice virtue, the Bodhisattva path, things like that. And meditation. They're going to be taught meditation and guided in meditation practice for a while before they are fully initiated into Vajrayana practice. And they're going to do things like create the sand mandalas. They're going to be taught systematically how to make the mandalas. And it's a very delicate process. It's a very slow and intentional and delicate process. And it is something that is very conducive for meditation itself. A meditation of doing something, creation, and then, when the mandalas are created, what do? They just, they blow it away. It's sand. It's sand sitting there on a table or on the ground. It's pretty awesome. But a practitioner, and I know everybody's thinking, what's in the cup? Yeah, and you would be right. It's coffee. So a practitioner, when they are starting off in the proper practice of Vajrayana Buddhism, the systematic practice, and going into it, the first thing that they're going to do is there's a huge ceremony. Vajrayana Buddhism is very ritualistic. Everything is ritualized about a practitioner's life. How you eat. Well, you don't eat unconsciously. You don't eat, just eating while you're thinking of, what you're going to do later. There's nothing like that. Everything is part of practice. Being in the now, being in the here and now in what you're doing. So there's a ritualization of everything that you're doing. And that is common to all, all spiritual practice of people, like, any monks, even Western monks, anybody that was a Western monk, if you're talking about, Saint Francis of Leola or Saint Francis or something like that Saint John of the Cross, these monks and nuns. Well, their whole lives is ritualized, right? And so that's just how it goes. So this practitioner is going to be part of a ceremony, and they're going to build a mandala. The mandala is going to be a certain mandala. All the different mandalas, you look them up online, and you're going to see, maybe hundreds of different mandalas. And the mandala that they're going to use for this particular ritual is going to have in its center maybe 6 different Buddha families, 6 different Buddhas. And they're not historical Buddhas, they're not historical figures. They're personification of different virtues. They're personifications of different temperaments of a practitioner. We're not all the same. We're not all, little carbon copies of each other, and there's no reason to think that we would want to be like that. Equal and having the same drive in ourselves to spiritually progress or something like that does not make everyone, the same, in their temperament, in their personality. We are free. We are diverse and free creatures. It's awesome. So this mandala will be built. They will ritualize the whole thing. It will take days to make the mandala, and at some point this neophyte will drop a flower, a little flower on the center of the mandala, and whatever part, little piece of the pie that flower falls on, that will be the deity, that will be the Buddha that practitioner will focus on in his practice from then on out. It's left up to the universe, right? Some would say left up to chance, but there's no such thing as pure chance. None whatsoever. So, then that will dictate the practitioner's path ongoing. There's a lot of mantra, chanting, saying the same thing over and over and over in this kind of practice. And one of the mantras that is most well known is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om is the God, the Godhead, if you will, the implicit God. Now, to use the term God in this context is not exactly right, but it's not exactly wrong either. Okay, it is the Most High. It is the Most High intelligence. In all Mahayana Buddhism, including Vajrayana, the world is of mental construction. There is consciousness and mind. There is mind and life behind everything. And that is of essential importance. And then Mani is the jewel. Padme is the lotus flower. And then Hum is the God, the Most High, the spiritual life and mind consciousness that is pervading all. So there is the God within Om, the jewel in the lotus, Hum. And the Om and the Hum are the God within and the God without. Right? And the jewel in the lotus is another way for them to illustrate the same thing. That the jewel is the spirit, the soul of mankind. And the flower is the clothing, the body, the outward manifestation of that spirit or soul. So Om Mani Padme Hum is actually just calling to the fact there that the Buddhahood resides in all beings, regardless of your state, regardless of the state that you're in right now. And so Buddhists, Vajrayana Buddhists, chant Om Mani Padme Hum all the time, even lay Buddhists. But that kind of thing illustrates exactly what the whole of practice is about in Vajrayana Buddhism. Because what is going to happen is this, is that the practitioner is going to align himself with a Buddha that has been, chosen by, the universe for him, by him dropping that flower. And then he's going to go and embark in practice. And to illustrate the practice, I'm going to go and use the Kali Chakra Mandala book that I showed in my beautiful book series. I'll link that down below too, just in case you haven't seen it. So the first steps, and this will take years. This is depending on the practitioner himself. The first step, first let me show the mandala. The full mandala is here, okay? And that is, and there's 4 gates in. So the practitioner is going to go in through one of the gates. And the first place that he gets to is this outer court, right? The whole outer level of the mandala. Now, in the outer level, there's 536 deities in that. And what do they mean? So it is called the body mandala. The outer court of the mandala, the outer level, is the body. Our bodies are complex systems. And that is fully physical existence. All the different parts of your physical existence are represented on that level of the mandala. And the practitioner is going to meet those, make friends with it, and embrace it. And step by step by step, all 536 deities. And the aim of it is to have no difference between yourself, what you see as yourself, who you are, and your body, right? We are our bodies. Our bodies are our manifestation, are us. So the fact that people feel like, a part of them is not them, that is part of what the spiritual life aims to remedy. So there's going to be a lot of practice on that level. The body. making the body whole again. WHOLE. The next step is going through another one of these inner gates, right? And then there is the speech mandala. This is a level that has 116 deities on it. And it is every way of uttering anything, saying anything, and how it's said, and what the motivations behind speech are. All of those deities, those 116, are different aspects of speech. And they are met and embraced and made friends with and made part of the whole of the person as well. So, that is a long practice as well, right? There may be a lot of silence during that part of the practice. And however long it would take for a practitioner to get there is just fine. The third level, you see, there's another set of gates. I'm going to get a little closer just to make sure that you can see it. There's another gate and another smaller court. This is the mind mandala. Inside, on the mind level, there are 70 deities, and they are, symbolic of different mind states. Positive, negative, neutral, indifferent, and so on. There's nothing that is lost. There's nothing that is not represented, because the aim is to bring these things that seem so different. I'm a happy person. I'm a good person. So then anything bad can't be me. I can't accept that about myself. And I'm not that. That's the kind of schism. That's the kind of break that happens that doesn't allow someone to accept others and to accept themselves. And then they live a life that is, that's rough. So there's 70 different types of mind states and ways of thinking and this kind of thing that are made friends with and embraced and accepted for an unconditional way. The next is the pristine consciousness. So, like I said, that's just this very inner court right here. And there's actually one part that is even more interior to this. But this is pristine consciousness. So this is a level of consciousness only. Consciousness only. And like I said, in Buddhism and in most any esoteric teaching that I've ever come in contact in my life, whether Buddhist or not, so this aligns perfectly with Western thinking as well, that consciousness is all that there is. Not your little, human egoic consciousness, but a greater, all-prevalent, living mind that is in back of all that this is, that is in back of reality. So that is a level where the body, the speech, and the mind of the person has been systematically put in alignment and made whole. And now it's not this kind of logical thing that by what I'm saying, you're like, oh yeah, you're accept it. Oh, I accept it. And this kind of thing is a heart and mind and full being practice. Meditation will be happening all the time, more and more and more and more. These kind of somebody who's going through practice like this is going to be in love with meditation, in love with spiritually progressing, because it is a wonderful, blissful thing. And that's illustrated by the very center court. And show it if you can see. It's illuminated, but it's not, it's very, very small. That is the Great Bliss mandala. The part of the mandala that is called Great Bliss and is entering happiness. Because at that level, there's nothing that you don't accept anymore. You see that all of this is part of the whole of reality. And everything that that the Vajrayana practitioners are involved in, and this kind of whole practice, is more and more of the actual reality. It is actually entering into the world and what it is to live and embracing all of it. So that kind of thing is just a taste. And I think that's very interesting. I hope that I've given you some food for thought. Any kind of thoughts and questions or anything like that, we can do some follow-ups. Like I said, you can understand that just by this illustrative effort there, that this kind of practice is not something that you enter into on your own. It's very, very complex. So I hope it was interesting at least. And holler at me, BookTube. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.